The psychology of a womanizer. Why are they like this and what do they want? We discuss womanizers. Who is a womanizer? A womanizer is a person who avoids deep emotional attachment. He is afraid of it. It is easier for him to build some short-term relationships to get what he wants. But what does a womanizer get? It is often believed that he receives some intimate pleasures. But in reality, a womanizer often boosts his self-esteem through a large number of women. Low self-esteem and the need for recognition are the first reasons why a womanizer frequently changes women. What causes such low self-esteem? The first reason is childhood trauma. Most likely, he was criticized a lot in childhood. There was a lack of support from parents. The parents were cold, possibly demanding a lot, praising little, and criticizing a lot, resulting in a personality with very low self-esteem. Inside, this is a very sensitive soul, a person who wants it be valued and admired. A person wants to feel differently, and short-term relationships serve as a way to boost their self-esteem, which is too low. New conquests provide a temporary feeling of satisfaction. That is, when a man meets a new woman after a couple of dates, he feels great, wonderful, and believes he can quickly win over a woman. But this feeling fades very quickly and it becomes insufficient for him. And the feeling of inadequacy inside drives him to new conquests. And this feeling of inadequacy and inner emptiness prevents a womanizer from building deep, happy, and strong relationships. He will continue to seek what he lacks through short-term relationships. Moving on. Fear of intimacy and emotional attachment. A man may be afraid to be open, may be afraid to trust. For him, this can be a risk. Again, it may be related to some childhood traumas, some painful experiences, a painful first experience, and the man has accepted for himself the belief that a relationship equals pain. A relationship equals suffering. A relationship equals some unpleasant feelings. And now the man has accepted for himself that, for example, he will not open his soul to anyone. Now, he will date, for example, women only to meet some of his needs. But avoiding close relationships is a form of control. He wants to control so that no one else causes him pain. He closes himself off, but at the same time, he deprives himself of happy feelings, deprives himself of attachment. However, until this internal problem is resolved, the man will continue to have some short affairs, flings for a short time, to avoid letting someone in deeply. As soon as a woman gets closer, the relationship will immediately fall apart. Next. These are personal traits, and this includes narcissists. Narcissist is a person who craves attention, craves admiration. And again, a woman will be with Narcissus only as long as she provides him with what he needs. As long as his need for admiration is fully met, the woman will be by his side. However, as soon as Narcissus feels deprived, which often happens because he requires an increasing dose of attention, saturation occurs. At that point, Narcissus can easily say goodbye, and this also relates to egocentrism. A person is focused only on themselves, concentrated solely on taking. As long as he takes and you give, you can be close, but as soon as you realize that such a relationship is not for you, it will fall apart. Next, emotional deficit. In fact, the womanizer strives for love and attachment, but it is all due to his fears. In order for the womanizer to stop being a womanizer, he simply needs to sort himself out. He also wants love. He wants to be happy. He wants that very emotional attachment. But often, especially due to childhood traumas, he simply does not know how happy, harmonious relationships are built. If the womanizer decides that he wants a long-term relationship and wants to work on this aspect, then he can learn to build different relationships. However, until he reaches that point, until he understands that he is already tired and that short-term connections often bring such fleeting satisfaction, this will all continue. Often, the womanizer protects himself from emotional pain and certain fears. In search of an ideal, he tells himself that the woman he will connect his life with must be this, that, and the other, essentially a non-existent goddess, like Aphrodite, who does not actually exist on planet Earth, meaning she is woven from nothing but virtues. He describes her essentially understanding that this is impossible. And it's like a defense. That is, as long as there isn't such a woman, there won't be any long-term deep relationships. There will be relationships of that kind. So, what should the womanizer do? The womanizer must first acknowledge that there is a problem in order to build happy, strong relationships where there is emotional closeness and attachment. Accept that there are problems and try to find the roots, which often go back to childhood. Where does this come from? If it is a problem with self-esteem, start working on it, learn and trust. It is actually a huge effort to live a different life. That's all I have for this video. This was Alice Ward. I hope for your likes and subscriptions. Please write in the comments what you would like to discuss in my new videos. Don't forget to hit the bell icon, and goodbye everyone.